Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Yeah, a little bit heavy with the market content recently, but obviously a lot going on. And we got another video today. And a lot of you guys tweeted me, do I have FIFA 23? I don't have FIFA 23, guys. So when I get FIFA 23, which will either be on the 27th like everybody, or maybe the cheeky chance I can like game share with someone, maybe I'll be having it early, but no, I do not work with EA, guys. So I don't get to play FIFA early, and that's okay with me, guys. I enjoy speaking the way I want to speak, and you know, everyone else can speak whatever way they want to. That's also fine, but I just know for me, I don't want to be like affiliated with EA. At the end of the day, I want to be able to kind of say whatever the hell I can say, and yeah, it's nice to not have a restriction behind that, or feeling like, okay, if I talk bad about EA, maybe I'm not going to get an invite, or maybe, you know, this and this and that. I don't have to deal with any of that drama. So for me, it's totally okay that I don't, as a creator, get to play the game early every year. I don't have a problem with it. But I appreciate you guys that see, like, you guys do have a problem with it because you guys want to watch me play, but it's okay. It's all right, guys. It's all right. It's a couple days away, and I don't think we're missing much because in the early clips that I saw, sadly, of FIFA 23, it looks the same thing as FIFA 22. So I'm hoping to get my hands on it, and it is a little different. I've watched like 20 minutes today of some gameplay, and it looks like a lot of cutback, drop back from defenders, and extra pass elastico. So yeah, it's not looking super bright on the gameplay side of things, but hey, maybe if it, you know, if it isn't true that way, maybe it's going to be a year where we return back and we just go hard with trading, right? And we go like crazy on that. That's totally cool too. So tonight's video, guys, we're going to do a video kind of talking about the best time to buy your team. Now, this morning I made a video. I would recommend you guys check that out. I kind of talked about every department of the market. Yes, there has been some movement in some places, but pretty much everything I talked about this morning has happened already today, and I'll explain why. So follow that video. I'll put the link in the description down below. That link is going to help you guys a lot, man, because there's a lot of things I talked about in that video that I won't talk about in this video, but it will help you guys understand a little bit more about this market and what we're expecting today and tomorrow and going forward. So I'm recording this video on a Saturday evening, and I thought it'd be a really good video to make about when to buy your team. The full release is on the 27th. Some people on Xbox, I think, can change their nationality to like, or their location to New Zealand, so they can play even earlier, I think, on Xbox or something like that. But for the most part, most people are playing this game on the 27th. But what I did say to you guys this morning, and just one thing I'll cross over from both videos, today, if you guys go on Twitch or anywhere, most creators that are creators on FIFA have been given the game by EA, right? And not only this, not most of these, but some of these people are game sharing with another person. You can only game share with one person. And then some pros probably also got the game, FIFA pros, real life pros, and they may have game share too. So you probably have like 400 or 500 people that got this copy early, and then you're going to probably add in like I would multiple that by at least 2 or 3. So you've probably got now at least over 1,500, 2,000 people actually on the game, which is going to bring a lot more to the market. All these people can load up FIFA points. All these people can grind foot drafts. They can get their pre-order 4,600 FIFA points. So at a base standard, what that's going to do is just add coins to the market. And we've already seen that happen today. The game plan going forward about what I talked about in the market this morning, it's very accurate, right? All these players I told you guys about on the front page of Flippin', and I'm not going to be that guy that's sitting here saying, I told you so. Look, this is just what's happened, right? All these players on the front page of Flippin', all budgets. Jesus, Leao. Leao went from 13K to 20K. Jesus went from 7 to like 12. Now, we had like an hour or two ago, we had a time where the market got really high. This is directly reminding me of when promos happen on Fridays in FIFA, people always panic buy after the lightning rounds, right? And there's like this hour or two period where the market just goes to the moon on Fridays, right? We always see this happen. So today reminded me a lot of that, and now it's starting to come back down. You're starting to see some drops, right? Messi was up at 200. He's down to 180. So all budgets, there's a lot of ways to navigate this market, right? We talked about Jota this morning. He went from 20 to 27. Vinny was up at 210. He was down to 177 now. So all these cards are going to fluctuate a lot. And I think we're going to start to see the same trends every day. I really do. So I think for the next couple of hours, these cards are all going to drop because they all got panic bought. You've got people on the game, you know, that are buying packs and opening packs to supply us on the market. Then people are going to stop listing again. I think overnight, we're going to start to see some of these higher rated players, Messi, Mbappe, Vini, Rudiger, Van Dijk, Salah, all these guys, right? They're going to get rare at night and go up again, I think. And this is going to be in probably 7-8 hours from now. This is a lot from recording this video, and this is that overnight period. I think we're going to see the same trend every day. I think we're going to see the mornings being pretty high, overnight to mornings. You know, that would be very early morning Europe and then midday Europe. And I think we're going to kind of see a little bit of stall or down towards content time because we may get some supply, right? Today we didn't get any supply. There was no live SBC today. We got that early access challenge 1 yesterday. I thought we were going to get an early access challenge 2. And so yeah, we're going to probably have this daily trend every day. And for the most part, this leads me into kind of when and buying and sell your team, and that's what I want to talk about. That was the point of this video. So, you know, you might have skipped to this point. But look, we're at the 24th right now, and when to buy or sell your team, it's really tough to know. You've got a lot of budgets, right? So I would say you've got a smaller budget team, right? So you've got players like Guardiola, you've got players like Klosterman. This would be like probably as cheap as I would say. Now, you've got the cheapest budget, right? And the cheapest budget is like Timber and Muriel and these players, right? Now, these players, guys, are going to be only valuable until like the 30th of September, I think. I don't see a lot of these players being valuable past 3 days after release. Because of the way the market works nowadays in FIFA, the amount of supply that comes onto this game via like rewards, packs, everything, the pack weight is way higher than it used to be in the past. And we're seeing a lot of these players that are like cheaper and lower rated just getting packed way too much. We've seen so many trends of these over the years where these like very low rated players that are just overpacked, you know, they just seem to drop upon release. So like Timber is another example I've been talking about. He's 2,700. He may go up to like 5 or 6K. But I think you don't want to get stuck buying him there because I think he'll drop after that. It's just my guess. Can't be for sure. Now, you're going to have certain players like St. Max and Renato Sanchez. And these players, if you're looking to buy these players for your team, these players are going to be fine for weeks. These guys are always okay for like 2 weeks at least. And they usually just incrementally go up in value because they're very meta cards. And they're just harder to pack. If you guys look around at like pack opening and stuff, you just will not see Renato Sanchez, St. Max. You don't see these guys getting packed. So you can usually tell by that. And I guess if you have any questions like, you know, is this player going to go up? Is this player going to go down? Guys, just look at last year. Go look at trends from like the last couple years. Flippin has all these resources accessible. You guys can go and check out and see kind of what happens to them. Did they stay the same price for a couple of weeks or did they kind of plateau and then drop, right? Like Morales is a guy that maybe goes to 1.5K, but he's going to be discard a couple days after that. And that's the way that I really look at it, guys. That's how I'm trying to, like, you know, assess this team stuff for you. So, you know, we take a look at like other team building stuff, right? You're going to have like SBC fodders like Neuer and, you know, he might be less fodder than like an Oblak or a Lloris, but even Lloris is Prem keeper, right? Like that's such a safe buy. If you want to go get a keeper like Neuer for 18K, that's really safe. Fodder doesn't really go up for like months because in the beginning of the game, EA just don't like put high rated squad requirements. It just doesn't happen. But you know, you can't go wrong. And Neuer is probably, you know, in terms of the fodder players like Neuer, Donnarumma, Courtois, Lloris, these are the guys, Allison, that are a little bit more usable for that goalkeeper position. Now, we're talking center back. So Guardiola is like, I think 4 or 5K, right? Yeah, 4K. And you'll notice that basically like he trends all over the place. He was like 3.8 this morning, goes up to 4.2. He's going to trend up and down just kind of based off supply. Klosterman is one of those guys that's going to go up for like a week. I you know, with this 32.5 price range, I think he's going to go up for like a week. So this is the type of like lower tier meta that I'm talking about that I think is just going to do really well, like in teams and stuff. You know, Jude Bellingham was like 12K today. He shot up to 16. I think a player like him is going to do well. You know, and then you know, you're like a cheaper team, right? You've got like Lucas Moura, who's like interesting to some people. Like he's a player that I don't think is going to do as well as some of the other players in this team. I think he'll probably hold a value of like 5 to 8K for like a week, and then he'll probably start to go down. But like Zaha, I really like. I think Zaha will be like 10K, maybe closer to that 15K. A lot of time when we see like these price ranges that are only 15K, like if it's close, right? So this guy's 9K, he's pretty close to this 15K price range. A lot of time what we see is like the player actually gets like bought up almost to that price range. We see this all the time happening. So could be potentially a thing that happens with Zaha. But yeah, this is more of like the cheaper meta, I would say. And I think with this type of team, you're going to be safe for like a week, right? The common trend and common theme of like a team like this, I know I didn't complete it, but like a lot of these players are lower rated, right? And that's just out of the fact that they're going to just naturally get packed a little bit more, which is why eventually their supply is just going to catch up with their demand and they're going to start to go down in value. And you guys can check on this and you guys can check it out. I mean, you could look at like most of the players last year And you can see that like they kind of peaked like really first couple days. Now, keep in mind, you had this early access last year, right? So people were on the game on the 23rd. So I'm expecting this to probably happen until like the 30th, right? Where like you'll have a player like that and then they'll drop, right? And you can see the drop is drastic, man. Like after 2 weeks, this card is down to 700 coins. If you bought Zaha for 10K, it's a problem. So the best way you guys are going to be able to do this, and what I'm going to kind of show you guys and help you guys with here, is like you're going to want to try to cycle your team in upgrades, right? So like once you kind of feel like you've used, you know, the team a lot, you're starting to get more coins, you're going to just want to start to upgrade positions. Like if you can, you're going to want to try to go like to the next level that's safe. So like, you know, once you use Guardiola for a bit, you know, you might want to like go change your league and go with like Alaba, right? Higher rated player, not going to be that much more expensive, and a super stable price. Like once you kind of had your time with like Bellingham, maybe you're going to want to go with like Barella or Tonali. I think even Tonali being the same rating is going to be a lot more in demand, just out of the fact that he links with like Theo Hernandez and Leao, right? So then like once you're done with Zaha, you could go up and go with Leao. I think Leao is going to be really stable in price for a while this year. I think like a month. I think he's going to be a really popular card. You know, once you've had your time with Lucas Moura, you can kind of go here. And like, I know Messi's out of the question for price. Like Messi would be like a really ideal player, because I think Messi's a player that will hold price for like a month or two. But I think, you know, he's 180 right now. I think by the time, you know, a lot of people get up to that price, I think Messi's going to be like 400K. I do feel that way. So, you know, you've got that, you've got the baby budget, right? And we kind of went over that. And now we're moving up to that next meta. Like, I think a really good example is like Anthony or Dembele. Really like those two options. I mean, I like Dembele the most because Dembele's French, and he's got 5-star, and he's playing amazing in real life. And he's just been really stable. He's been going up like 5-10K a day. So, you know, I think most years when you look at Dembele's price, look at this, and this is what we're talking about. You see how Dembele, you know, guys, the point of buying a team is that you can use a team and feel confident about it, right? So that's what I'm trying to help you guys with. Like, even if you buy Dembele at, let's say, 72K, and you're starting to get freaked out that he goes to 65, it's still not as bad as buying Zaha at 10K and him going down to 750 coins. And that's what we're trying to save you guys with here, right? The fact that you can kind of buy him at a peak on September 30th, you can look at him on October 20th and he's still 60K. You're only losing 10K of 20 days of grinding this game. So that's really what you're looking to do. You're looking to kind of, I guess, keep upgrading your team as you go, and you're trying to move to like other tiers of players that are going to hold value really well. Rudiger is going to really hold value this year. Llorente is going to really hold value. So you're looking to kind of progress the team in a way where you're never going to lose coins. That first team you were using with like Zaha and Lucas Moura, you're going to want to sell that after a couple days so you can cash in on it. You're going to watch their price very carefully. But once you kind of notice like, hey, Lucas Moura is like 12K. I got to cash in on this. It's not going to hold forever. You got to remember, everybody's getting preview packs this year. People are getting like tons more rewards. Like, it's just, there's a lot more going on, right? So I think that's why we've seen like EA also making the pack way better last year. It was like the first time they ever did it, and it's really going to impact the market in a lot of ways. And then eventually, you know, you're going to get to these scenarios where like you get Llorente, and then you start kind of, you know, maybe you start dabbling with like going in and getting like a team of the week, one of your team, or a hero or somebody like that, right? That's really the ultimate goal here. Like, you go get like a Valverde for 75K or a Saliba for like 25, right? That's really what you look to do. And you eventually kind of graduate into these teams. Like, you can see Llorente stable to literally like, you guys, a guy like Llorente is stable till Black Friday. Like, literally. Like, this is when the Black Friday market crash starts to happen and the panic starts to happen. And it just goes all downhill. But you've got these players that you can kind of use in your team for like the whole entire first month. So I really look at it that way. And like, I think this is a great way to kind of look at like when to buy and when to sell your team. You got to kind of try to like level it out and go with you want to almost be like climbing with the tier of meta or the tier of team everyone's using. So, you know, early on, people using like Jesus and Tonali, right? Or Jesus, Tchouaméni, and Camavinga. And then once you kind of start noticing like you're not playing Tchouaméni and Camavinga, they're very high in price, you take the money on those, you upgrade from those two to maybe Modric, who's going to be fodder but hold value, and Llorente, right, who's going to be a meta card, right? And you go from like Richarlison, right? Like, Richarlison's not going to be a player that's going to hold price very well for like more than a couple weeks. Maybe he goes out of packs to get a team of the week this week, but you go from Richarlison to like Jota. So that's really the plan. And, you know, you can use these base teams for like a week. I think the baby tier is going to drop in price. You're going to try to want to upgrade to that mid tier if that's making sense. And yeah, you try to go as far as you can with it. I think that's probably the best plan for like when to buy and sell your team. As for me, I didn't really want to like talk about it in the beginning because I feel a little guilty, guys. Like I packed Mbappe this year. I know you guys saw that probably by now on socials and stuff, but like it's just crazy. I was grinding my ass off. I had like 80K, 85K, packed Mbappe out of marquee matchups. So obviously I sold Mbappe, guys, for 899K because I knew I could make more coins without having Mbappe, right? And I knew he's probably going to be about 1.5, 1.6 at some point next week. It looks like he's about 1.2 right now. 1.3. He's got a bid at 1.2, maybe 1.4. I mean, he's the go-to guy for a lot of these pros. I think a lot of these guys are going to overpay for him because they're all going for this tier of player right now, and then he's going to probably end up getting some supply. So I think 1.5, 1.6 is fair. But what I've been doing with the coins is getting on the icon market really early. I've had the opportunity to kind of get on this market and start bidding on cards that I just think are like crazy undervalued. Like I got a Makalele mid for 199K, which like it's funny because the only people playing the game right now are these people that are creators, right? So like a lot of these guys are opening packs, and I've been able to kind of get on the market and utilize these like availabilities of these cards. And I was like, I saw only 2 Makaleles on the market, and like this guy last year was like 700K, I think 500 to 700K. The links are really good for the chem system this year, so I picked one up at like 210. I picked up a baby Drogba at 185. Drogba's been like 700K every year, so I thought this was a good look. And basically, like, I'm not investing in these. I'm just kind of quick flipping a lot of these cards. And that's the way I'm kind of doing it right now. I picked up like this Smallerik for 120K. He's like a new Bundesliga icon with a lot of pace. Looks really good. He's rare, so I figured any card that's new is going to be good. And then I've been just like, I finally sold my whole last night. I showed you guys this morning. I had some Vollers. I sold them at like 170. Forlan got up to like 200. I bought a Marquisio for like 320, and I was thinking like, hey, Yaya Toure is so expensive. I'm just kind of working you guys, like showing you guys through my process. I know that, it's a very unrelatable process right now because not a lot of people have this tier of coins. But just for the future, I saw Yaya like 900K. So I was figuring like Marquisio is really undervalued. But, then I noticed that there was a lot more supply today. And I took the money at 500 because there's a lot at 500, right? So I wanted to move it, right? I was like, okay, that's 100K plus profit. Let's take it. I bought Nakata at 66. I sold him at 87. You could see some Messi sales here. We bought him again at 150 today, sold at 180. This one was at 120. And then some of the metas last night, because I told you guys they're getting rare at night. Showed a lot of you guys these sales this morning. Obviously sold a little bit early. Like when I woke up, I didn't expect this boom today on this tier. So I took some coins that I had. But yeah, I mean, I picked up like, as you can see, a Makalele here. I bought a Forlan for 140. You guys saw that this morning. I'm just going to sit on this one because I know he's got a lot of 200, but I really want to try him. I really liked him growing up, and I think he's going to just go up a lot. So yeah, it'll be really interesting. I mean, I think as you guys like saw in the video this morning, we're going to see this thing where like tiers of players kind of pick up in price day by day. Somebody that I really wanted to pick up was Eder Militao, but I'm just a little scared to do it because he's so close to his price range. His price range is 85K, and I'm just worried that he's going to go extinct, and then you're like never going to be able to freaking like sell him because EA are so tedious with price ranges. So yeah, all in all, guys, I'm just kind of briefing you guys through what I'm doing. Like generally, you're going to want to progress with your team, in terms of when to buying and selling. And I've never really like given that advice in a great format, but I think this video is very understandable in terms of like you just don't want to get stuck too long with one type of player, right? And you want to move on from this small meta type of player to the medium meta, and then you want to get up to that large meta. And it doesn't all have to be meta, right? Not every player has to be meta, but you want to focus on like tiers of players and kind of upgrading with the community is going to be the best way where you guys can just enjoy teams and you don't have to buy and sell the same players all the time because you're worried about losing coins. You can kind of buy a team one week, sell it the next week, and go with the flow. Once we get to November, it's going to be a different situation. You're probably just going to be screwed a lot of the time because last year, the trend was if you bought your team, you kind of just got screwed. You lost a lot of coins like every time. And then in terms of like the higher tier market, Messi, but the mid, not Mbappe tier, like Messi, any of the icons, any of the heroes, I think these cards are just going to go up for like a week or two. I think they're just going to progressively, day by day, go up. Van Dijk, Salah. So that's my favorite tier of player. If you can get to that like 80 to 300K range player, I think a lot of those players are going to shoot up. I don't like the Hullet R9 Mbappe because this happened last year. All the pros are going to buy those cards right now on top of each other. And it's it's not good. They get overvalued early on. I remember last year, everybody thought Hull at 8 mil was going to go to like 15, and it went down to 5 because it lost all its buyers. So make of that what you want. Thanks for watching today's video, guys. I really do appreciate all you guys supporting, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.